Beep. Welcome to the Court of Edijester. Hello, everybody. I've got a few bits and bobs today. Bits and bobs. So that's where we'll start, all right? Before we get with anything else. Because there's a few things going on, as they say, that I think you might want to know about. First off, right, MIT, which is, big uni, big things going on in America, MIT, fantastic, one of the best universities in the world, has ditched EDI statements in recruitment. Now that might seem small. It does seem small, right? It's not, it's huge, right? It's absolutely huge that they've done that because it begins to show, I think, that EDI is falling out of favour, shall we say. Now, that won't mean that they'll be back. They'll be back. They'll rebrand themselves as something and they'll come back again, these nutters. Right, okay? Says I. We used to teach it when I thought it was one thing and it ended up being another. So this is really, really big news that MIT have done that. So the link to that is in the Dubris because that's worth reading, right? Yeah, that's a good start. It's a very good start indeed. And I hope it means that we see the end to the rest of it, right? So that's the first thing. MIT no longer doing EDI, DEI, ridiculous nonsense statements, okay? So the next thing is that Kemi Badenoch and her team have asked, I'm going to remind you again, for examples of bad practice or policies that have breached Stonewall, breached the law or might be breaching the law or causing equality problems because of Stonewall or other outside bodies. So I'm reminding you again, do your own research, do your digging. But for example, I've got a meeting from the WRN Manchester Women's Rights Network with the council, which you've already seen. I've done that on a video previously. Is a perfect example of the type of thing that Kemi is looking for, along with school policies, policies for hospitals, colleges, or any organisation that is involved in providing services for the government anywhere down the chain. So it could even be private organisations. So do go and look at that and try and find out what's going on there. If you seek for if you look around, you'll find all the details. I'll try and find it and put it in the Dubris, okay? Now, the next thing is that there's this thing called Comedy Unleashed, right? Have you ever heard of it? Have you heard of it? Comedy Unleashed, which is what takes place in London most of the time, where people get together and tell jokes without worrying about what the wokerati and their little arsey bum lickers think, right? So, Comedy Unleashed. So here's a real opportunity for you. Comedy Unleashed is coming to Manchester. So for the first time, they're coming up north. So if you like comedy, and there's a few people I know who do, then this is the place to go. So I've also put the details for Comedy Unleashed downstairs in the Dubris so that you're able to go. Come along. I'm going to go. Andrew Doyle's going. Would you believe it? Andrew Doyle's going to be there, right? Elaine Miller. Her of the Merkin. Now, if you don't know who Elaine Miller was, this is the woman who unashamedly and with great aplomb showed her merkin. Is it a merkin or a muffin? I think it's a merkin. Pulled up her skirt in the Scottish Parliament and showed her merkin in distaste at the behaviour of the SNP. So come and see Elaine Miller do some comedy, which would be great. And also, this is the exciting bit for me because I've yet to meet him, although I've met Constantine. Francis Foster from the Trigonometry Crew will also be there at Comedy Unleashed. So I'm looking forward to saying hello to Francis and the comedian Josh Howie. So again, links in the Dubris for you to have a look at. This is definitely just a bit of a roundup this morning. Sorry, folks, but there's so much going on that it's beyond the pale. Now, the next thing is something that I need you to do quite quickly. So get ready. 3, 2, 1, on your marks, go. There is an event being held, which I think we need to do something about. And that's an event called DIY Do It Yourself. It's got many meanings, right? HRT, Hormone Replacement Therapy, Info Social Evening, which is on Eventbrite. And this is a free trans-led info social at Islington Mill in Manchester, where you can learn about HRT the DIY way. That's a bit worrying, isn't it? Playing with these kind of drugs the DIY way. Right, okay, going to make it in your bath, are you? Right? So that's being held there by Manchester's Trans Liberation Assembly. is hosting a DIY HRT info social at Islington Mill this spring, a free trans-led place to build on our collective knowledge and strengthen our resistance. While the government is gutting pathways for trans youth, alternatives to the NHS and private clinics can be gate-kept, unsighted or just plain confusing. Our first event aims to map out the pathways of common HRT routes and DIY healthcare autonomy. They're pushing drugs on kids, the youth, right? Our first event aims to map out the pathways of common HRT routes. On the night, you'll be able to learn about navigating the system, understanding the grey market, the chemistry behind hormone-affecting drugs, and take part in an open floor discussion where we can share experience and encouragements. Now, it's open to anyone 18 plus. Good to see. It's good to see. So they're keeping it for adults, so I'm glad that they're doing that. But as the Assembly builds relationships with established organisations and the wider community, we plan to continue these workshops to restore trans healthcare to trans people. So what they're talking about is setting up an illegal underground supply session for hormones and nonsense. That's what they're doing. So I want you to go and have a look at that as well. I know I'm being a pain this morning. I want you to go and have a look at that as well, and then complain to Eventbrite. It's a dangerous event. It's that simple. They shouldn't be doing this nonsense. Absolutely insane. So if you wouldn't mind, go and have a bit of a wibble at Eventbrite. That would also be very helpful. Lots in the doobries today, as you can tell. A lot in the doobries. So that's, what was it? What have I done? I've done the comedy club, yeah. Okay, so yeah, we're getting very close to all I need to tell you this morning, I think. So I can move on and do something else with my life. I thought there was one more. No, there isn't. I'm getting it wrong. Oh, no, I'm not. There is one more, right? There's another group that's appeared online called Student Academics for Academic Freedom. Right, which is where they're getting everybody involved. Don't have to be a student, don't even have to be an academic, but they're trying to get everybody involved, and they're a new group and they've just started. So it would be a lovely idea if we can go along, give them a follow. Again, I'll put the doobries, the stuff in the doobries. So today is very much practical, isn't it? It's very much, come on, do something. I'm sorry to be so demanding first thing in the morning, but we have to get out there. So there you go. There's just a roundup of stuff of some interest that hopefully you can do something about with some of it. Now, the next thing is I've just about finished my Manchester Pride report. Or, well, examination of Manchester Pride. So I might have to find some people to have a look at it and see. It's interesting what they've been up to. Dangerous stuff. Dangerous. So that's it for this morning. Go on. Go away. Go do something. I'll see you later, good peeps. Go complain to Eventbrite. Go find out about this new group. Book yourself on Comedy Unleashed. Game on. Okay? So I'll see you later. Thank you very much for watching. Bye-bye.